is CBS News Miami.
And off the top at 4 right now, a heat advisory is in effect for most of South Florida. Feels like temperatures could reach 108 degrees. Good afternoon and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. I'm Najahe Sherman along with Next Weather Chief Meteorologist Ivan Cabrera. Dangerously hot out there today.
And you know, we've already reached those numbers, so upper triple digits. That is heavy stuff here for this time of year. We've continued with the heat advisory, Naja. That's going to be in effect through 6 o'clock, and then we're going to bring temperatures down a little bit along with the feels like numbers as well. So hang in there. And in fact, we have a big pattern change coming up. So I think today, last day of heat advisories here across South Florida. So excellent news, but not for today. Now, you know, Pompano Beach is down to 104. That is hot, but we were at 107 just a few minutes ago. So beginning to see some improvement, and we'll start losing these triple digits over the next couple of hours. But again, the heat advisory goes through 6 p.m. and then things will calm down a little bit. We do have some activity, showers and storms, not much, but this one little cell popped up here near the sea breeze here that continues pushing to the west, and that has a couple lightning strikes there if you're watching us from Weston, but that will continue to kind of move off towards the west. That's about it, though, and you see the line here of storms continuing pushing towards the west. Part of the reason we had the heat advisory today and not so much yesterday is this plume of moisture that's going to be coming in. Today, not advantageous for us because the storms are pushing west, but eventually that is going to be very handy for this area of low pressure that's going to be moving west. And so when that happens by tomorrow, not only do we have the low, kind of an agitator, if you will, for the whole thing, right? And then we have the tropical moisture available. That is a stormier setup for us, no question. And because we're going to start storming around midday, we're not going to spend much time with triple-digit heat. So I don't think we'll have advisories tomorrow. By the way, the low, there it is on Wednesday, still impacting our weather, still having a deep moisture on top of us here before it begins to pull away on Friday, and then another pattern change. But we'll focus on the next couple of days because we have plenty of moisture on tap and also plenty of thunderstorms in the forecasts. Next weather rain tracker will take us through tomorrow morning. I think, you know, quiet in the morning. This will be the kind of setup that is not too unusual afternoon storms, but it's the kind of storms that develop in the afternoon that's important because they'll have so much moisture associated with them that once they get going, there will be some tropical downpours here. In fact, the Weather Prediction Center, one of the arms of NOAA, right, has us under a low-level threat, but it's not zero of flash flooding tomorrow. So we'll watch that. I don't think that will materialize so much, especially because activity will continue to be moving tomorrow. Nothing's going to get stuck here. But I think by the middle part of the week, depending on how much rain we get tomorrow, we could be looking at some localized flooding here through Wednesday. That's when my rain chances start going up. In fact, coverage by then, we're talking about 60%. As we check in on conditions in the tropics, things are quiet. We've got that tropical wave. I talked about it last Friday. The thing is still struggling. It is just gasping for breath, literally. We have dust on top of it. It's sucking that in, and it just doesn't have a chance to really get going over the next few days because of that. So let's focus in on the forecast as we head through with tomorrow. Again, showers and storms, coverage up to about 50%, more than we've had the last few days. And I think we peak on Wednesday. That low still impacting us on Thursday before we begin to dry things out and get ready for a steamy, hot and dry weekend. But first, some relief with the thunderstorms back tomorrow.
Ivan, thank you. A horrific crime on Miami Beach. A man is in jail accused of killing his mother. Police say he dumped her body down a trash chute. CBS News Miami's Steve Majuri is in Miami Beach with more on this gruesome story.
We found out that Anthony Caruso was out on probation for at least 3 other cases, and those cases were not specified in court, but we did dig up his criminal history and found out he's had at least 5 other arrests ranging from assault, battery, and criminal mischief. And for this most recent murder charge that police say happened at this apartment building behind me, the judge had some questions about the details surrounding the arrest when it was in court.
Okay, am I missing something here?
40-year-old Anthony Caruso saw a judge for the first time after Miami Beach police say he killed his mother Elizabeth Caruso, who was found in a dumpster inside of his Miami Beach apartment on Washington Avenue. But in his bond court hearing, the judge questioned the reasoning behind the charges.
Where does it say he killed his mother?
Judge, I agree.
What?
There's nothing indicating that he killed his mother, Judge.
We checked the arrest form as well and didn't find anything in it saying Caruso killed his mother. The prosecution tried to call in the officers behind the arrest but couldn't reach them. So the judge rescheduled a probable cause hearing for this afternoon.
Reset it in the PM for probable cause hearing to find out if he is the person who in fact killed his mother.
Police say Caruso has a history of mental illness. and said that his mother was visiting him from New Jersey this weekend. Police were called there after Elizabeth Caruso's relatives couldn't reach her. That's when they found her body in the dumpster.
There was a trail of blood coming from that apartment unit to the trash chute and subsequently down the trash chute inside of the waste container. And
evacuated the building.
When our officers tried to make contact with the subject, he barricaded himself.
That caused an 8-hour standoff. Residents had to wait it out.
Everything was closed. They were asking for ID to come back inside. Well, we couldn't really come back unless they let us know.
Police used SWAT and canine units to get Caruso into custody. Arrest documents say Caruso didn't answer any questions and he was sent to jail.
The second hearing occurred just a short time ago. We'll bring you more information from that hearing starting tonight at 5. Officials are working to determine what caused a fire to break out at a business in Miramar. It happened overnight along State Road 7 and Southwest 35th Street. Officials say firefighters arrived at the scene just before 2 this morning. They found smoke coming from the building. Firefighters put out the fire quickly. No one was hurt. The man who police say hit a Pinecrest police officer with an off-road vehicle faced a judge this morning. 24-year-old Adolfo Dennis Jr. is charged with attempted second-degree murder of a law enforcement officer. He is being held without bond. They say that officer was pinned between his patrol car and the off-road vehicle. They say the officer, Garcia, was forced to fire and missed as Dennis Jr. attempted to flee the scene. Officers say this is a result of an attempted street takeover.
This was a large group. There was approximately 6 or 7 off-road vehicles, each one transporting 3 to 4 passengers and the driver. When the officer arrived at the gas station, the vehicle that fled basically pinned him between the subject vehicle and the officer's car. At that time, the officer felt the need to discharge his firearm at the threat.
Officers chased the vehicle about 18 miles, eventually using a pit maneuver to stop the car. 2 other people were also in the off-road vehicle. We are working to learn if they will also be charged. Officer Garcia is out of the hospital with minor injuries. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating. Longtime actor and household name due to The Cosby Show, Malcolm Jamal Warner has died, according to a source close to the actor. He drowned while on a family vacation in Costa Rica. He played Bill Cosby's son, Theo Huxtable, from 1984 through 1992. Warner also had acting credits playing roles in Malcolm and Eddie, Grownish, and the reboot of The Wonder Years. His talents were not just acting. He also won a Grammy in 2015 for his song Jesus Children. Warner was 54 years old. Now to the Trump presidency. 6 months into his second term, a new CBS News poll finds President Trump's approval rating is sliding. That's as public support for his deportation and tariff policies appear to be going down. The poll comes as the president's August 1st trade deal deadline approaches. Erica Brown is at the White House with more on that, plus the latest on the Trump administration's fight with Harvard.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth met with the president of the Philippines at the Pentagon Monday ahead of expected trade talks with President Trump this week.
We're proud to support our mutual economic vitality.
The visit comes with President Trump's August 1st trade deal deadline approaching. New CBS News polling shows Americans want more focus on lowering prices rather than tariffs, with 60% opposing new taxes on imported goods. But the Trump administration is standing firm.
This is going to pay off our deficit. This is going to make America stronger. We are finally protecting America.
CBS News polling also shows President Trump's overall approval rating down more than 10 points since February, but the president still enjoys strong support from his base 6 months into his second term. In the poll, there is growing disapproval of the president's deportation program, with more Americans saying the Trump administration is not prioritizing dangerous criminals. As a federal court hearing for Harvard University's challenge to the administration freezing more than $2 billion in grants and contracts got underway, a group of alumni, students, and faculty rallied outside the court in Boston.
We're putting our research and the research of the next generations, not only here at Harvard, but across the country, at risk.
In a social media post Monday afternoon, the president called Harvard anti-Semitic, anti-Christian, and anti-America, and said the government will stop the practice of giving billions to the university. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
When we come back, we all know summer, but sometimes we have so many activities planned, it doesn't feel like much of a break. Experts weigh in on enjoying life's simpler pleasures. And Dolphins training camp starts Wednesday, and that means Camp Dolphins also kicks off Wednesday night. We'll give you a look at all the action and all the news coming out of Miami Gardens each and every day after the 11 p.m. news right here on CBS Miami. That all leads up to the Fins' first preseason game against the Chicago Bears on August 10th. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. School is out for summer, but for a lot of families, it's not much of a break. From camps to vacations, it can be hard to stop and catch your breath. Some experts suggest hitting pause and embracing a slower summer to enjoy life's simpler pleasures. And this includes less hustle and leaving space for boredom.
Slow summer is just taking a more flexible approach and really being more present in the moment. So we've seen this 90s summer trend on social, and all that is more unstructured play, less screen time, and really being more present.
A slow summer includes avoiding parent burnout and leaving room for creativity. We are in the thick of summer, but it is never too early to start thinking about fall, and Starbucks is helping us out. Today, the coffee chain announced the pumpkin spice latte will be back on the menu August 26th, so let the countdown begin. That does it for your CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Najahe Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great day.